Hi everyone, and yeah, I'm a technology researcher, philosopher, and a lot on security researcher as well. I'm concerned a lot with topics surrounding cybersecurity and hacking and stuff like that. And as a technology researcher, I've also investigated a lot into utopian theory, because that is a hot new. And it's not me, huh? That's a hot new topic in technology research, kind of, because they've been putting up this hypothesis that actually the grand social utopias of the past are gone, like the grand anarchist utopias or grand socialist. Okay, experiencing technical difficulties. Scheint er das? Yeah? Okay, now. And yeah, we've been busy with utopias for a while in technology research, because this hypothesis has been coming out that there was this grand disappointment in utopian ideas with the decline of the USSR, and where everybody was sort of disillusioned about the power of utopian ideas, and the impact of utopian ideas all turned out in a very bad way, these grand social utopias. So there was sort of a quiet phase for a while on utopias, where no real new utopias came up, but now actually we see some sort of a renaissance of utopian ideas in a lot of different shapes and disguises, and that's the thing we're interested in technology research, because a lot of these utopians are new utopians, which are quite small, and I'm going to say a bit about that, about the shapes in which they appear now, because quite a few of them are very heavily technology related again, which is something which we have witnessed already during the first phase of the industrialization, where the first heavily technology-laden utopias came up. And so this is something which we witness at the moment, and it's interesting from our perspective as technology researchers and technology philosophers, because these utopian ideas and these processes, of course, guides our sort of societal development alongside of technology and technological development as well. So that's an interesting topic for us. I've actually just published a book on that. It's in German, on utopian, which kind of tackles the topic from a variety of perspectives. Interdisciplinary book, maybe if you want to look into it. So, and in this book, I did a little research on potential hacker utopian ideas, and that is something I'm going to talk about. And I think there is also some bearing on actual current politics as well, from this utopian kind of perspective, and I'm going to talk about that as well. So this is the outline which I have outlined. First, I'm going to give you a little introduction on utopias. Then I'm going to talk about what a hacker's utopia could be like, or what the utopian ideas in hacking have been. And then I'm going to talk about their application in current politics, and why that is a bit difficult from my perspective. And then I'm going to draw up some conclusions. Okay, so basically, utopian ideas stem from human desires. Just from a very basic perspective, we have a lot of desires, and we want a lot of things, and it's difficult, all the stuff we want, and there are some things we can change, and that's the whole area of human drama, you know, like love and sex and death and all this stuff. Although there are some utopian ideas now with transhumanism who are trying to transcend death, so that's an interesting thing, where things are actually shifted from the things we can't change to things we can change. But then, of course, there's this huge thing, this huge chunk of things which we actually can change. And those are, of course, very inspiring for utopians, because, oh, sorry, that's the wrong heading. Never mind, those humans. Because a lot of the things we want actually are quite dependent on the social organization we have, or on some sort of technological advances. Like if you consider the grand utopian ideas we had in the past, like in the grand socialist utopian ideas as well, they were sort of reconsidering the social organization and how things could change if we would just organize distribution patterns a little differently, apply different principles of justice, not the principle we have now, the principle of Leistung. What's that in English? Sorry, it's a bit late for me. Of performance, yeah, and more the principle of egalitarian distribution. And so that's one thing we can change, the social organization. And then, of course, there's the technological aspect, which we can change as well. We can do a lot with technologies, and I already mentioned industrialization, and that has had a huge potential to change things, actually, because the industrialization promised back in the 19th century that it would actually resolve all of humans' problems, like the need for food and need for shelter and the need for work. And the utopian ideas which came up with these new production technologies, were all like we would free humans from all sorts of needs and problems because we can provide them with all the basic things they need, and then they're free to organize in any way they want. So there's a clear impact of technology here. And of course, these two things, social organization and technological advances, interact very intensely. So, and with this experience of change, which was actually made during the phases of industrialization or in other phases, and the first systematic experience of that was actually with the advent of modern science, and with that's the time where we see the first advent of systematic utopian ideas as well, like Francis Bacon's new utopian idea, the New Atlantis, and a couple of other more systematic utopian thinkers who were trying to explore actually these connections between society and technology, and what could happen if we would change social society a bit like this and technology a bit like this, and then probably we could all live together in peace and prosper and stuff like that. So that was an experience which was made during that time, and which was intensified during industrialization. So this was actually something which allowed the emergence of utopian ideas, because once you got this experience that you can actually change things by the use of technology, by systematic thinking, by also tackling society in a technological way, you know, like look at which societal institutions have which functions and how do they interact, and what happens when I twitch a bit here and a bit there, then you can actually change things. So that was really like the first advent of these grand utopian ideas. And so that's basically the outset of utopian theory. Like a utopia tries to consider some sort of the golden age. That's one very common metaphor. Another metaphor is also the good human. You know, you're trying to conceptualize a society by means of social structuring and technological structuring, and try to find a society and a way to live which is maximally desirable and maximally allows you to live your desires and to live in a maximally human way. And that's something which structures utopian ideas from that time until now, actually. And within the research we did in social theory and in philosophy, a lot of that was on the functions of utopian ideas. Of course, philosophers used to develop utopias as well. Francis Bacon was a philosopher, and he did some utopias. But what we're more interested in is the social functions which utopian ideas actually have. And of course, we can say some straightforward functions. They inspire the political agenda, they inspire change, and of course, they inspire technological design as well. But one very important function which has always been stressed in by utopian theory was that actually by designing a utopian society, you also create some sort of comparable society, which is some sort of society which is comparable to the current society, and which kind of criticizes the current society, because it says, well, people, we got this technology and we got this sort of social arrangements, but they can all be changed and they can all be altered. And if we would alter it a little bit like this and a little bit like that, then we would have a good society, even a perfect society. So that was also a way to criticize actual and current social ideologies and social